Hello, my esteemed clients. I'm here to introduce to you a new technology. I welcome you to withPOLYSTYRENE Construction Company. As you can see, this is a new technology. So I have with me here Engineer Ben. So he's going to tell us about this new technology. I'm your amiable lady director, Grace Divine Ozavize. I'm here today, Friday 16th of April 2021. So we are here to introduce to you a new dimension in building in real estate construction. So this is live here in Ogudu GRA, Lagos. So over to you, Mr. Ben. Can you tell us about this new technology and what is the significant importance over the conventional technology?
Okay. Let me stand by. My name is Engineer Ben, the MD of withPOLYSTYRENE Limited. All right. We call this polystyrene building system, or building technology. It's actually has a whole lot of advantages. And when we talk about advantages, let's start by. You can see this. It comes with a wire mesh. This is a 10 cm panel. This is the polystyrene. Of course, you buy your television, you see this white foam that guides your electronics. Now this is it. We have to add up this wire mesh to make it firm. Now this is a 10 cm wire mesh polystyrene panels. Now you can see this is a story building with a penthouse. Now the whole of this with this slab we're standing on is actually built, casted, and decked with polystyrene. Later on we will go under and you have a clear picture of it. Now on this, with this wire mesh, why we have to add this wire mesh is because of the strength, to add up the strength to it. With this again, it makes the house to be wind resistance, number one, also to be earthquake resistance, and let me say, when I said bomb resistance, yes, of course. Let's assume you have a ground movement, and most especially you see it on the normal traditional blocks. When you have any earth movement, you see cracks, but with this you won't see any single crack. Because why? We have the wire mesh overlap. You can see once we have a joint in here, now the wire mesh overlaps. Why? Because by the time you're done with this, we going to add up a plaster, either 2 inches or 3 inches, whatever thickness you want to add up. Of course, you can still add it up on it. And why we have to do this, we overlap this so that if there's any shaking or any pressure, whatever it is that you might find on the normal traditional blocks, you don't find it on this. Now let's go to the advantages. Number one advantage is waterproof. Second advantage is soundproof. Third advantage is heat resistance, echoing. Now the amazing advantage of it is it reduces the load on your structure by almost 60%. Come on, imagine you're having a load. Of course, you're using the normal traditional blocks of putting up this load, and you kind of like, let's assume you reduce the whole load is reduced by 50%. Of course, it's something good, something very fine and awesome. Why? Because and the way we advise people to make use of this is, number one, where you have areas like swamp areas, you have sandfield areas, and instead of after spending money on your foundation, and at the end of the day you're putting on a load, and the next thing you see, houses are sinking. But with this, you're not going to find that sinking, because your load is reduced. Your load is cut off almost 60 to 70%. I can guarantee you that it has been tested. All right. So another thing again, when we talk of heat resistance, the heat resistance, once the heat hits the panel, the plaster, at the end of the day, you have to kind of like the heat remains there, and even though it goes into the polystyrene, now the polystyrene, the heat will stop on the plaster alone without penetrating the polystyrene.
So you mean you are going to plaster both sides with
Yes.
cement?
Get me that sample. I want to plaster this both front and back. All right. So by the time I plaster, it makes the work to be very firm, you know, strong, over strong, and another thing again, another amazing thing is 4 times faster than building with the normal traditional blocks, and it's very, very cost effective. If you're comparing this with the normal traditional blocks, okay, let's look at this. You have the block, the normal block, which is about 250 naira right now per block. Now at the same time you have the normal vibrated blocks, which are some are close to 1,000 naira per one. Now you still get to understand that if you're comparing this with the vibrated blocks, this is far, far cheaper, because we have done the calculation currently with this amazing product, and we realize that it even tallies with the normal traditional blocks, with the blocks of 250 naira per each. So instead of spending the whole money adding load, unnecessary load, adding a load that, okay, when there is any maybe fire outbreak and the next thing you begin to see crack, oh, of course the house is gone. But with this you won't see that. Now another question, you can see this. Hold this. All right, this is the polystyrene panel, this is the tension panel, and you can see the wire mesh front and back. So now we have this plaster. This is just about 1 inch on it. All right, now you can see, you can't even see a single, if I don't tell you that, okay, this is polystyrene, by the time I plaster this front and back, you're not going to see anything, you won't even notice anything. So this makes it very, very firm. Now with this, once you have heat hitting on this wall, the heat, once it gets here, it gets stopped from either ways. Now another question people ask that, what about fire incidents? And I tell them, I say, okay, look at this. This and this are connected. The two are connected. Now you have plaster here, you have plaster on this both side. Now let's assume on this very side, fire is hitting on this. This material is not flammable the way it's been produced. So now you have fire on this side and fire on this side. Let's assume the whole place is on fire. Now the heat get this melted. If this is melted, now you still have your wall on both sides standing with the wire mesh. This is awesome and amazing. So
Fantastic.
even this, you remove this at the end of the day, these two walls of plaster are still standing with the wire mesh. All right, so this is it. Then you can see what we've done here. Okay, we call it starter bars. You need to put this. The importance of this majorly is to align your walls before plastering. Is to align your walls to be on a straight line. And now you can see our door components, how we created the doors. And also, not only to align, but this is also what is holding this. Now, another question some people might ask that, there's no column. Of course, we don't need to put a column. We're trying to reduce load.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So it's not just about putting the column. You must still put the column, and of course, you are still trying. You kind of like bringing back the load. Now, with all this, we have these starter bars, both front and back. So this is guided. So these irons, we have other ones behind that are keyed together. So for wind to pull off this is impossible for it. And some people say, okay, wow, how are you going to roof this place? Of course, we're going to roof this place.
You're going to show us the work done so far on this.
Of course. So with this now, before we start plastering, and then we get to the roof level.
Yeah. So this is just how it's being constructed. So
yes,
I'm going to post the already constructed one, so you can see how it's being constructed. That it's not a fable something. It's real and it's genuine. So another question I have: do you also do normal block traditional building? Do you also do construction with blocks?
Okay, nice question. Yes, of course. As a professional engineer, we were trained to use the normal traditional blocks. Of course, and this is our new invention, which we're just bringing in. So everyone needs to be explored. So, of course, we've done a whole lot of projects. Abuja, Niger Republic, Ghana. In fact, we've done a whole lot of jobs. And let me say,
you are now here in Lagos.
Yeah, south, southeast. We've done a whole lot of jobs, and our office is in Abuja. So here, I we're just introducing this in Lagos State. So
that means you have a lot of this job done in Abuja.
Yes, we have a whole lot of these jobs done in Abuja and other parts of the world, not only Nigeria. We've done, like I said, we've done some.
Where does this technology came from? I mean, which part of the world?
Actually, okay, the Chinese people have this technology. Philippines have this technology. Turkey are into this technology. In fact, South Africa are doing this technology. Kenya are doing this technology.
Wow.
Yes. So, even this some technology is still in Japan.
Okay, can we go to the next floor so that we see the because this floor we are sitting, this slab is done with the same material, right?
Of course, of course.
So let's quickly go and sit. So,
okay, you can see our slab. We did our slab with this is the polystyrene. You can see. Now it has reduced the load on this structure by let's say 50 to 60%. Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yes, you compare it to if you were going to use the normal traditional method of construction. So I think this is amazing, and you can feel the cold, the breeze blowing, and everywhere is just kind of like
calm.
Okay, it's not really hotty. So we are still going to create our windows component, and of course we're not done with this place. We're still going to part up this whole place and still create our doors, the rooms, and whatever we need to create in this place. So of course this is amazing, and
this is a triplex, I think. This is a 2-floor.
Yeah, of course.
2-floor duplex. So we have apartment here. We have the master bedroom up. We have about 3-bedroom apartment at the first floor. The second floor where we have the master bedroom and one other study room and the rest. So this is constructed on like half plot of land, and we have a very large parking space over there. So I'll be giving you update on this as the construction is going on, and when it's completed, you are going to see it. Do you still have one or two things to tell us about this technology?
Okay, well, let me say this. Now you can see the staircase. We've casted this whole staircase. Okay, let's assume if we want to. Somebody ask a question.
So this staircase is casted with this material, right?
No, actually, this is not casted with this material. Now, before I get to this place, now this polystyrene has gone white. It's not only produced on wire mesh. All right, we still have the one that is produced with the fiber mesh. We have what is called fiber mesh. So that is produced not only on this. This also comes in a panel form. All right, in a block panel form, but it's about 1.2 height by 2.5 meters wide. So if you don't want to use the wire mesh, you could also as well use that. All right, so let's assume if we're taking a complete polystyrene project, somebody has a question that, can I build my house without a single casting? And I told him, I said yes. Without a column, I said yes. With this polystyrene building system, with what we have been able to achieve, of course, building a polystyrene house without any column, we have done that to 2-story building without even a single column. How is it? Because the polystyrene building system is produced in different designs and different forms of construction. Of course, if we're going to do that, even the next project I'm going to do, I'm not going to cast my staircase. Yes, we have our polystyrene staircase.
Is that what we use for the next?
No, I'm not going to use it here because we're at the final
stage. Okay.
So, but this very one, I try to balance the load, and that's why I have to put something heavy at this front. Okay, so so that the load will not just be on one side.
One side.
Yeah, so I try to just balance up the load because everything here is calculated. You can see our beams are not as wide as normal they are. So my slab, instead of casting a slab of 150 thickness, what I did here, I did 75 mm, which is 3 inches instead of 6 inches. So you see, your slab load is reduced by 50%.
Wow, it's fantastic.
And of course, you climb there, you can see I have my internal beam. So the good thing is, you need to have a very good structural design for this before you utter it.
Do you also do structural design?
All right, yeah, we are into
as a company,
architectural design, 3D structural design, electrical, mechanical. Anyway, it's a complete body of
everything about construction.
Yes.
So the entire body of construction, you take the project and you run it.
Of course, because right now, like I said earlier, this is a new technology, and we're trying to bring in something better that even the common man will be able to
afford it.
Can afford it. You understand? So, for me, spending unnecessary money on the blocks and the rest of them is really painful. You understand? But with this, the common man might decide to say, okay, wow, let me actually.
So, do we still require POP on this thing after?
Okay, now before I answer the question, ma'am, all right, this polystyrene, we still have it. We use it for POP.
Okay.
Yes, we are also using it for POP, and we also using it for roof insulation, to insulate the roof for heat and sound. Sometimes when you have a rainfall and maybe you begin to feel, or maybe there's a thunder sound, and you begin to feel the sound. But with this, by the time you're done with that, you don't feel that. Now, using this, doing POP with the polystyrene, the good advantage about it is it reduces your load. You know, the normal POP is very heavy, but of course, you don't need to cast. But with this, because this serves as your ceiling panel for the POP, so but almost the same method of doing the normal POP is what we use in doing our POP. So this is even faster, easier, and it's still cheaper if you're doing the normal POP. Why? Because by the time I'm done with this, I've finished my POP work, you will never notice that.
And that is what we use to complete this job.
Yes, so. And you see, you won't even, because it's also water resistant.
Yeah.
You understand?
We are going to be giving you the update till this project is completed, so that you will have a better overview of what is there. Meanwhile, the next video you will see will also tell you about the completed projects she has done so far. So thank you do you have any other thing to say to our audience?
I will tell to my I will say thank you very much for having here, ma'am, and we really appreciate you on behalf of withCOME Nigeria Limited. We really appreciate your presence and your commitment, and we look forward working with you. And another thing, we're just new here in Lagos, right, trying to exploit the whole
market of
neighborhood and in fact Lagos State cities. So we actually advise our new customers to give us a trial, and if we are giving you our word on this construction, of course it's a registered company, so we also, if you want us to go into a guarantee, we give you a guarantee of how many years it's going to last. Of course, before, if anything happens to it, we'll come and take care of it. So we are very sure and confident of what we are doing and what we are into. So thank you very much, ma'am.
So you have here had it all from the MD, the CEO of Bet Construction Company. So in partnership with GRACEMPIREglobal Concepts. So I'm your amiable lady rector. I'm Grace Divine. I represent GRACEMPIREglobal Concept. So we are in partnership with Bet Construction for some of my clients, my esteemed clients that would like to build. They have a land and they want to build. They want to minimize costs. They want a professional construction company that will help them to come up with a design, come up with something so that they can build and have a better view. So I introduce to you withCOME Limited. So I look forward to see you patronizing us. If you have any other information, we'll gladly come to you. If you want us to do a presentation for you, kindly contact us. Look through the description, you have more overview, and I'm going to continue to give you updates on
everything's unfolding as it should. I would be more grateful if I could. If the world is an image in my mind, then I can't complain about what I find.